I know this is a backbone. And a backbone to me is like a spinal cord.
Right.
You can only bend one way. Right? So you're bending this way.
Right.
You can't bend this way.
Right.
So on a spinal cord or on a backbone, if it's wrong, what is it going to do? It's
Twist.
Gonna break. It's gonna crack.
Yeah. Good point.
You know.
Yeah.
You got to find that right side of the box. So there's two.
That's right. There's a back and a front.
Yeah, there's two. So you got to find the right backbone so you can put your guides on.
What I've found of most people, if you take the rod and really load it, it will naturally go to the one that's correct. There is one there, look, I've got it right behind it, see it? That's what he's talking about, right? There's one there, but if you take it, the rod, and naturally bend it, it will go to it. But if it's off on the side, it'll never work. It's going to twist, and it'll never be a good rod.
Can I show them another way? Can I borrow your chair real quick? There's another way to find a backbone. When you got a little bit of load down there, it'll fall in place like Nick said. All you gotta do is just kind of wrap it. You know, there it is. You know, you kind of roll it and you feel it where it's falling in place. But if that bottom part is loaded, you can actually.
There you go. Yeah,
feel
good
it.
idea.
Because it's gonna be loaded and it's gonna bend it a little bit.
Or you say, like, if you put this on there,
Yes.
yeah, you're going to put the load on.
Yes.
Yeah, got
You
it.
have a load.
Yeah,
Now you can wrap it. I mean, you can roll it, and then you'll feel it where
line up.
it'll line up.
That's a good idea.
Cool.
So Nick, that flag shape there is just to compensate for the taper of the rod, and it
That's
overlap
right.
is in a straight
Yes,
line.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
You want to be
now
sponsored?
if we look at, we've got all this bit. Now when you look at a lot of modern rods, you go in a shop and it's going to have a line rating, all right, and it's going to have a cast rating. This is my experience from inside the industry. It really doesn't mean shit, right? They're very good at working out line ratings and load ratings on like little bass rods and things. But when you're dealing in surf fishing rods and rods, they haven't got a clue. And there's people in the industry, they send me their rods so that I can work out what a particular blank does. One of the companies, Rain Shadow Batson, I've worked with them for a long time. They send all their surf blanks to me. I check them out, and the thing that I give them is the test curve, and I'll show you what test curve is. I take a rod, and I'll take a blank, and I trap it at the bottom of the blank, and then I put in place a mark where I'm going to have the reel seat, okay? I then support it at that point, so it's trapped there, and it's trapped there, okay? I then load the tip with a weight until it reaches 90 degrees, all right? That is the test curve of that rod, all right? Now let's say, for example, I don't know, it comes out at say 10 pound, all right? It takes 10 pound to make that tip go to there. If in Europe, when you buy a rod in England, they say the test curve of that rod is X. You know exactly what you're getting, right? What you've got here is, in a lot of cases, when you go, apart from Batson of course, where you go into a shop and they'll have just the ridiculous ratings. I've seen little tiny rods with a rating of like 12 pound casting weight. I mean, and you look at it, the guy, and think the guy must have been on drugs. It's because they're not used to giving a rating to a rod that powerful, all right? That, you know, I mean, that's how ridiculous it is. There's no one on the planet who could cast 12 pounds. But I've seen stupid ratings like that. It's because the engineer doesn't know the concept of the fishing. So I will give Batson the test curve, And then I go out, and Jack's helped me on this, I'll give them an actual casting weight. And what I do is I take the lightest possible weight that it requires to get that rod to achieve lockdown, alright? And then doing a power cast, I do a powerful cast, boom, right? The maximum weight that I can cast without overloading that rod. And the overloading on that rod is when I do that cast, say with 8 ounces, the tip will not go through lockdown. If for example I take a 4-ounce rod and put 8 ounces and do a power cast on it, the tip will do that. Alright? What we're asking for? Breakage at that point. So what I do is I cast it with the maximum amount and the minimum amount. Both achieve lockdown, but they do not go through it. Got it? So that's what we want. Lockdown. That's it. Nothing gets better than that. Alright. Let's go on to building the rod.